Welcome back, everyone, for the afternoon sessions. So for this afternoon, we have more exciting sessions for you because on this main stage, we will have the panel discussion on voting and social DAO. And at the same time, we'll have concurrent session at 3:45. Will be the special presentation from the W3G group at the Spice Chill Out Zone. So please feel free to check out the special presentation as well. Now, for the panel discussion here on voting and social DAO, let me introduce and welcome our panelists who share their expertise with us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Alex Bragirev from SingularityNet, co-founder and CMO of Offchain Hong Kong and StepX Meet 48, Ms. Joanne Fong, CEO and co-founder of BitArcade, Mr. Natchamon Ek Rangsi, an advisor, MetaLife at Lingo AI, Mr. Henry Wang, and also General Manager of Asia Divinity Foundation, Herbert Yang. Joining us for this panel discussion would be our enlightening moderator, the former Chief Business Development Officer at Cointelegraph, Mr. Sergey Medvedev. Please welcome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome here, and thank you for Feastable for having us. Actually, I'm following this development because I live on Phuket, and it's incredible what guys built, and I'm really inspired by this. And thank you, dear panelists here. So for myself, I'm Sergey Medvedev. Former Cointelegraph CBDO. Right now, for many years, I'm developing Asian market for different companies. And right now, I'm CMO of Intmux, ZK Protocol, and I have my advisory firm Shifted. So, fellas, please, short introduction, and let's dive in.
Thank you so much. I just had a presentation, so for those who missed those presentations, I'm Alex. I work with SingularityNet as a Strategic Initiative Officer. I hold a fund which is called DF101, and I sit on the board of directors of the Kiwi Group. It's a NASDAQ-listed company in a fintech, so I'm happy to be here.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sergey. Thank you for the organizer for the invite. And I see a lot of good friends, Emilio, Henry. We run into each other quite a lot. My name is Herbert. I'm the general manager of Asia from Divinity Foundation. So Divinity Foundation is one of the oldest foundation in crypto. We were founded in October 2016. And then we spent 5 years to develop ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, which went live in May 2021, about 2.5 years ago. So for the past 2.5 years, our ICP ecosystem has been growing rapidly, and so happy to share, how the governance and the DAO works on ICP. In Asia, that's very important for the growth of ICP. That's why we are here. That's why my colleague Emilio, we are here. We try to grow the local ecosystem, not only for the users, but also for the developers. And Phuket is a great place to do that. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting. I'm Joanne, so I'm from Hong Kong. I'm the CMO of Meet 48. And what they're doing is that they are an incubation platform for talents to turn them into idols. So they have around 30 million users in Southeast Asia right now. So they're trying to shift the Southeast Asia users into Web3. Yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Bank. Definitely I'm Thai from Bangkok. So happy to be joining this panel. So I run a company called BitArcade. So on one hand, we help our Web2 normal traditional brands help them try Web3 strategies. And on the other hand, I'm also running an NFT community project, a lifestyle NFT community in Bangkok as well. So I think that's what we do right now. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Wang. I'm the founder of Smart Mesh, and also I'm the advisor for MetaLife and also Lingo AI. So I'm so happy to come to Thailand because the Web 3.0, the applications can only be massively adopted and from Southeastern Asian countries. It cannot start it from China or United States, even though they are developed. So it's a great chance. So why we start the massive adoption from here, from decentralized social network and DAO and voting, and to get back our web and with Web 3.0. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Such an incredible panelist I have here. And actually our topic is social voting and social DAO. It's incredible, actually, why I found myself in crypto back in the days, because I was so inspired by decentralization and what it brings us. Right now, crypto became more institutional, like ETFs, etc., goes, and a lot of speculations around. But we have blockchain to government conference. So my questions and our discussion should be related to this topic. And the first question. What the biggest problem that keeps social DAO from mass adoption in your opinion? Let's start from you, Alex.
I think the driving force will be degens for social DAO from the one perspective. From the other perspective, the institutional layer, so-called ESG, if you remember what was happening 20 years ago, Kofi Annan introduced ESG agenda on UN. And it's become widely adopted. But the problem is the SDG goals is not linked with the real community. I mean, it's completely unlinked, I'd say, okay? And here, for social DAO and the Web3, we see in Singularity the great opportunity. So that's how we're linking the large language models. I see the social DAO can link the proper impact funding with sustainable development. So two things, two driving forces, and I think they will literally hit or meet each other. Degens will drive it in Web3 itself, like meme coins and all of the stuff. And they're already creating their own social networks. And from the institutional perspective, the adoption of Bitcoin ETF and so on, I believe, will unlock the opportunity to go deeper with impact funding and adoption of social DAO into the green bond agenda. So I see here a really great potential.
Okay, Herbert?
So the question is, what are the main challenges for mass adoption for social DAO, right?
Yeah.
Right, so a great question. Thank you, Sergey. So I think there are probably three main challenges. I mean, this is a big topic. I think there are many challenges. But the main one is, number one, you need to have a wallet. I mean, to do what we do, in crypto, in Web3, you need to have a wallet. At least that's how it works on ICP. Number two is usually there is a leading party that is driving the social DAO, the governance. In our case, that will be the Definitive Foundation. So as a foundation, we need to learn how to let go. How to let go our voting power, how to invite communities to participate. And that's not easy to basically let go your power. And then the number three is the community, they need to step up. They need to be able to participate. But let me just elaborate a little bit. So in Divinity, the way it works, if you guys are in ICP, when our mainnet went live 2.5 years ago, so the governance of Internet Computer Protocol is passed to this DAO called NNS, Network Nervous System. So NNS is right now one of the largest DAOs in crypto, with, in last time I checked, $1.4 billion staked on the network. So if you're an ICP holder, you will be able to vote and submit proposals in this DAO. And that's how we run the network. It's no longer run by the Definitive Foundation. It's run by this Web3 DAO community. And then, on the first one, in the beginning, our Definitive Foundation, we had a voting power of more than 40%. And we often got criticized for that because that's very centralized, right? Basically, we have way too much power. So right now, I just checked an hour ago, our voting power has decreased to only 19%. So, I mean, that's challenge number one. We need to figure out a way to let go our voting power to create room for communities to participate. And then number two is actually the wallet. And then my colleague Emilio did a very nice keynote in the morning to introduce internet identity on this very panel, right? That is very, very difficult to do. Because in order to participate in the DAO, you need to be able to have an ICP, which means you need to have a wallet. You need to have an internet identity. But that takes a bit of getting used to. But I think that's a second main challenge for the mass adoption. But the third one is really the communities. We always encourage communities to step up, to submit proposals. And some of them have done so, but I think we are still at the beginning of this revolution. So we are hoping that more developers, communities. I saw the Phuket DAO yesterday. We're hoping more DAOs can join ICP and then submit proposals to shape the future of the ICP. These are the main three challenges, I think.
Sounds sweet. Jan?
I think speaking of getting into mass adoptions, the most challenging part is to educate. So I was talking to Alex earlier, so I was saying education is so hard to Web2 people. So not talking about wallets is more than having a wallet. So just being talking about blockchain or decentralization, we have to educate. It's what's the importance of decentralizations? Yeah. So I think in general, it just starts from educations. Yeah.
Cool. Bank?
Yep. Yeah, just to add from Joanne, I think for mine, it's 2 points. One is education or learning curve. I feel like right now it's, to understand about the whole social DAO or even blockchain, Web3, there's still a high learning curve that people who want to truly understand it need time to invest. And second is building a sustainable community. And I think the key word is sustainable because, if you want to build a long-lasting community, you need to think about the business model and how you recruit people, make them contribute, and also, building actions and turning into something, return back to the community. Yeah, so I think that's two things.
Cool. Henry?
So the DAO was the first defined actually by the Daniel Larimer, who is the founder of EOS in 2013. And in 2014, and the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik, and renamed from DAC to DAO. So it is important because in the Web 2.0 era, the social media actually is centralized. So they have their own decision and the mechanism is centralized. But for decentralized social network, which is actually the foundation for the Web 3.0, so there's no governing mechanism. So the DAC and the DAO is critical. And the BM actually, after he defined this terminology, he also continued to work on it. Based on the failure and the experience he got from Steemit and from Voice. And later, he designed Eden OS. So it's DAO of DAOs. And later, after he quit from EOS, and he talked to MetaLife team. And because he's working on, it's called it's a new project called Social Network. But after he met with MetaLife, and he joined as an advisor, and actually the MetaLife, the governing part, and use his theory of DAO of DAOs. Oh, okay, because For every pub or channel for the decentralized social network, there should be some governing mechanism, voting, and it was implemented on the decentralized social network called MetaLife. And now we combined with artificial intelligence, the personal AI agent. For example, it's a lingo part. This lingo part can not only translate multilingual and translations, but you can also use your voice to control and your social media. So for example, you wanted to create a DAO and how to voting, and also you can create a funding pool for your DAO. And with NFT, the members can vote. Okay, so this kind of a mechanism is important because for Web 3.0, it's fully decentralized. Everyone got back his own data, and data carry values. And the DAO is the only way to manage the Web 3.0 governance. Okay. Yeah.
Good. Totally understand. And right now, governments across the globe, they are quite centralized, right? And for them, decentralized paradigm, let's say weird. So they are unfamiliar with that. And what do you think, how we could integrate decentralized paradigm in quite centralized governments? What's your take on it, Alex?
Well, I think the first angle, the important angle, because we are at Phuket, I think the digital nomads here is a driving force, right? So I think the travel tech is a vital component because I give you an example, if you're using your mobile phone, maybe if you're traveling a lot, between the different countries, you're probably aware that the country code is not necessary anymore. But it's necessary because it's an old-fashioned attribute, but in real life, you don't need country code. You're just paying for the roaming in every country, right? The same one goes with account abstract, as Herbert mentioned, that Defini is running the digital identity, right? So I think this idea of the account abstract, that the reputation should allow people who travel a lot as a digital nomads to feel themselves as a home in the different communities if they coming to Thailand, Indonesia, say Russia, or Dubai, etc. And that's where local government have to develop their interfaces, their adapters. And we, as the Singularity Net, is happy to help and to develop such infrastructure with the reputation framework and AI. I believe that should be the component that will unlock the people to travel more, because in the end of the day, the countries should compete once against each other for the talented, for the task force. Because people will not be sitting on one place forever. They will be traveling a lot, and those countries who understand that the competition goes around openness and interface, about efficiency of those interfaces for the travelers, they will be getting more talent that will help to grow the GDP.
Okay. What's ICP take on it?
So the question is about the centralized governance?
No, centralized government, real government or countries.
Yeah.
How to integrate them with decentralized approach?
In a local government?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question. Yeah, there is let me see, centralized governance in a local government.
Decentralized governance, decentralized approach. So I'm thinking about that because for them it's unfamiliar thing.
Yeah, I think it's totally applicable. What we do here in ICP in Web3, this whole governance model can be applied in the governance of a local government, whether that is a Phuket Island or Thailand or Indonesia. For example, we are in Divinity Foundation, we are developing this new product called Utopia. Utopia, the name its acronym stands for Unstoppable, Tamper-Proof. It's a long one, but basically it's a private version of a DAO that any enterprise or local government can use. For example, when our founder Dominic Williams visited Hong Kong last September, he had a meeting with the Cyberport of Hong Kong. And that was a tricky time for Cyberport because Cyberport the IT system of Hong Kong Cyberport just got hacked. So they lost a lot of valuable data. So our founder actually offered Hong Kong Cyberport, if you can try our new product called Utopia, basically you're going to have a decentralized version of your own private cloud. That can protect you, and you will be the one to set up the rules in terms of who should be running the node machine to power the network, and who can submit proposals where the data of your users or your customers. I mean, in that case, for Cyberport, that would be all the entrepreneurs and startup founders in Hong Kong. Where should they store the data? You can be the one to set up all these parameters with our Utopia product. So it's a bit of in a way, it's out of a box DAO governance system that we are hoping can find use cases not only in enterprise but also many local governance, local governments or government agencies who really value data privacy, who have some very particular requirements for their own network. So I think that is totally doable.
Okay, and John, for you. So what benefits you think will be for government to use decentralized technologies and for conscious voting, like when people attend by themselves?
I think, so I was just trying to refer to Herbert about the Hong Kong side of having decentralized. So I'm from Hong Kong, so I know that they are doing a lot right now. So they actually have like a token in the future. It's like an e-token. So when you travel to Hong Kong, I believe you can use the e-token to purchase, like to go for dining and etc. So I think that's one of the big part the government can do to push the like so-called technology, so and the mass adoptions. So other than that, what was the question again?
I think it's better like here. Okay, the question is what the benefit for government to use decentralized technology and involve people for self-organizing activities?
Oh yeah. So I think in general, it's more about the trust. So I think if we're allowing the citizen to do like voting or like to be like governance, and then it's more about you're having the trust to the citizens, and the citizens are having trust towards the government. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah.
Okay, sure. And in my opinion, we have in DAO, literally, we have a problem. The first problem, voters' apathy. They don't want to vote, they don't want to participate, and they want to delegate their tokens. And Bank, what do you think? How we could involve more people to participate in DAO activities, like regular people?
Let me think. So.
Yep. Close your mouth.
Yeah. So I think in order to make more people to participate, I think they need to understand and also believe in the whole idea of social DAO first. I think in the past we have a lot of incidents and also stories that happen in the industry, but I do believe that now, since we learn from our mistakes, I think people are learning to build a better product, a more sustainable product, and through time, you see a lot of even this event itself, the government of Thailand is also looking into interest in the technology as well. So I think in the long run, the whole industry, whether it's social DAO or blockchain, will find a spot, the correct spot on itself, the sweet spot. Yeah. So I think that's my take on it.
That's great. What's your take on how to involve a lot of people in participating in DAO activities?
Yeah, great questions. So I'm coming here, it's for actually Thailand government and to, for the government officials to really understand the real and the Web 3.0. It's not only about blockchain and the crypto. Actually, Web 3.0, this terminology was coined by me 21 years ago. It's in 2003. And 3 years later, our founding father for the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee, and actually adopted this terminology to replace the semantic web for the next generation web. And for this, the major characteristic of the next generation web is decentralization. Because the centralized web, it's the manipulation and monopoly and all kind of drawbacks for the society. But unfortunately, the Web3 industry, starting from Ethereum Foundation, Gavin Wood, actually used Web 3.0, but they eliminate the most important data ownership. So the data ownership is actually the most important, and Tim Berners-Lee is working on that for almost 20 years. And right now, if every government can understand Web 3.0 is decentralization, also data ownership about everyone. It's not only about blockchain and crypto. The government will know the technology behind the Web 3.0 is fundamental for every country and to grow and in this era, especially Southeast Asian countries, because their data, their individuals' data is not in their own hands. So the advertisement, the finance associated with the data is not in this country. And a decentralized social network will make every people, every Thailand people, and to take control of their own data and the value behind it. So the government, the country will become rich because everyone will become rich. And the tax and for the government will grow. So that's one of the major reasons the Southeastern Asian country will grow in this Web 3.0 era for these emerging countries. So for developed countries, because there's too many and it's a legitimate or whatever reasons, and because they already have the infrastructure, so Web 3.0 cannot be massively adopted in developed countries. It will start it from like Thailand, Southeast Asian countries. And the DAO will be a feature associated with Web 3.0, so government should embrace and make its country rich.
Absolutely. But our time is up and summarizing, so we need to educate yourself and educate government how to use it. We need to involve people and motivate them to participate and create a lot of value for themselves and for the environment they live in. And we need to build together. Thank you so much, my dear panelists. Thank you so much, listeners. Happy to be here. Kapon kap.
Thank you very much, all panelists and moderators, for shedding the light for us to learn more about the dynamic landscape of voting and social DAO in the blockchain space. ก็ต้องขอบคุณนะคะผู้เข้าร่วมอภิปรายและผู้ดำเนินรายการค่ะที่ทำให้เราได้เข้าใจในเรื่องของ social DAO หรือการใช้ DAO ในด้านภาครัฐต่างๆมากยิ่งขึ้นค่ะว่าจะสามารถทำได้อย่างไรบ้างนะคะแล้วก็ต้องขอบคุณอีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะสำหรับสปอนเซอร์ของเราที่ทำให้งานนี้เกิดขึ้นได้นะคะ Once again we would like to extend our gratitude to all the sponsors who make our event possible. So thank you Hashkey Group, Litecoin Foundation, Singularity Net, One Sheng Blockchain Labs, EOS Network, Polygon, BNB Chain, Definity Foundation, Alita, BEVM, The Bonk, DTC Group, Deep Brain Chain, Sinso Technology, Sino Hope, Sabai Ecoverse, W33 Group, SPIC, X Pinnacle Markets, Tweet, Silica AI, Chained Up, World Blockchain Organization, 3DAO, X, XBridge, Mile Green, and XR Tech Thailand. And now, everybody, we are moving to the next session, which we will talk about the intersection of blockchain and healthcare. So next up, the topic will be on the securitized insurance over blockchain. And it is our great honor to have our distinguished speaker, Mr. Thanakorn Karod, the Chief Technology Officer at FinStable. Let me introduce to you a little bit about our special speaker. He holds a bachelor degree in computer engineering and a Master of Science in Computing from Prince of Songkhla University. He also published 5 publications on blockchain technology since 2019. He leads the FinStable technology team since 2021, spearheading the development and launch of various blockchain applications, specializing in DeFi and NFT. Also, he is the first runner-up in the BitCup Blockathon 2023, the largest blockchain hackathon in Thailand with over 100 participants. And he is the winner in the DeFi category of the Chainlink Constellation Hackathon. And now I think you guys are excited to meet our speaker. Please once again welcome Mr. Thanakorn Karod.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm checking if I need to talk morning or afternoon. So my name is Thanakorn Karod. You can call me Saini. I am the CTO of FinStable. So before I go into our topic today about the insurance or any kind of complex or hard thing, I want to share a bit more about FinStable because I believe that many of you still question, like, what does FinStable do? So what are these company, right? How can we have this kind of big event to match up between the government sector and the blockchain protocols, right? So FinStable, we are not only the company that have the vision, but we have the talent. So me, as a CTO of FinStable, I'm leading the team to build the blockchain applications, blockchain solutions to the market. In the past 2 years, FinStable have developed a lot of applications and services to the business. But this year, we will have our own products as well. And I would like to share a bit more with you about this product in this presentation. Okay? So let's come to the topic. Insurance is something complex, I would say. But in the same time, it is something that all of us understand. It means that something that we can make sure to secure our wellness, right? We put in some small money, but if some bad case happen, we get a lot of money back, right? That's the key concept of the insurance. So, but there's something behind it, like how to work on the whole system of the insurance is very complex. Whether they are the financial model, you need a lot of data. You need a lot of human verification. You need to work with so many stakeholders in this kind of simple product that we understand. But yeah, in the back end, it's very hard for us. Okay. So the agenda today is to talk about the health insurance. So I will be the only session, the only topic that talk about health today. So please come with me. I will want to share about the blockchain, how blockchain can enhance the health insurance industry. Okay, challenges that we see right now that makes the health insurance. We do not see a lot of health insurance right now, right? In the blockchain, but we see a lot of health insurance from the company, from the traditional finance. We see a lot of them. But why don't we see the blockchain-based insurance, health insurance product today? So we will come to deal with that in this topic. And the last one. So from the current stage, right? How can we unlock the blockchain health insurance? So how can we combine this technology into these complex financial products? Okay, I will share with you about that. First of all, let me ask you, why do you buy an insurance? Why do you buy an insurance? I believe that some of you may say to reduce risk, to manage risk, right? When you need to go to the hospital, you get more money to pay. You don't need to pay the full amount, right? Someone cover that cost for you. You may say that if you pass away, or that unfortunately, your family still have some money to carry on their life, right? That's the main concept of the insurance. But for most people, I would say, they buy insurance for tax deduction because they have no idea where to put the money, how to deduct the tax that they need to pay every year, right? So they just put in the money into insurance because the government want them to do. But there is a big reason why the policy or the government encourage, right, people to invest or to put in some money into insurance because they don't want them to deal with this kind of risk, right? If they have, let's say, I get salary for 30,000, right, baht per month, right? I get this, and I pay back to my home, my family every year. But in some day, bad thing happened to me. My family doesn't have money to carry on their life anymore. So that's why the government try to encourage people to buy some insurance encourage them by using tax deduction. So there's a big reason that the government support us. But at the end, insurance is about risk management. So that's the core concept of it, right? Everyone here understand it. So I don't need to talk more about it more. So example of the insurance product in Thailand, we can put in 20,000 baht per year, right? And I can get cover around 2 million baht if I get injured. But that's not always the case. I will tell you later about this. Okay, for the US, there is some statistics that's saying that insurance is very expensive for people in the US. So that's why it is the first reason most people in the US does not buy the insurance. And the other reason is about the complexity, okay? So many steps. And they are not sure whether they can get cover in some cases. So they do not buy insurance. Okay, and there's a lot of fraud as well from the medical center trying to fake the medical record in order to claim the benefit, right? So there are a lot of fraud inside of this industry as well. So let me just summarize the problem that we have. Cost, right? People do not buy it because it's too expensive. It is too complex for them to read through the documents, right? And about the coverage as well, I want to touch on 2 points for this problem. The first is it has limited products, right? Only some health, hospital expenses or life. But maybe we need more. We need more types of insurance. We need more coverage. And also the another part is the financial inclusion. For some who don't even have bank account, but they have job. They have money in every month, but they just don't have the record in the bank. They cannot access this kind of products. So they cannot manage their risk as well. So that's the coverage problem. And the last one is fraud. So all of the problem cycling together to make this product bad for some people, okay? So this is the traditional insurance system problem. Okay, so yeah, you can guess. I will try to address this problem. That's why I come up with this problem. Okay, blockchain may be able, I would say, I don't say that it is able to, but it may be able to solve cost, complexity, coverage, and fraud in this industry. How? Okay, I have some reference here. Interoperability, okay? Any medical center the insurance company can share the data each other using blockchain because of trust, right? We talk a lot about trust. They can share this information together, reduce redundancy of the data, so they can share each other more quickly. No need to do things over and over again, right? Smart contract will give you more coverage, more types of the insurance that you can have. And the last one, immutability that may be able to help fraud. Okay, and there's many research working on this kind of project. But that is on theory only. That's only on theory. Okay, it's not practical yet. Today, we know that interoperability, we know about the immutability or transparency in the blockchain that may help, but not help yet. I want to show you this. If you find blockchain health insurance platform today, you won't see any health insurance in blockchain right now. Yeah, that's what I want to talk today. There is some potential, but it's not there yet. Why? I'll show you. Okay, but before I go into that question, the only insurance product in the blockchain world today is only for securing you from investment in DeFi. So if you invest in some blockchain project, right, and you got hacked, so you get cover the money back, but that's only for investment. For health, there's nothing like that today. Yeah, only DeFi. So what's the blocker? What's the blocker between here, right? We know that we want to solve cost, complexity, coverage, and fraud. And we know that smart contract and blockchain have this kind of features, right? But why don't we have the health insurance products today? Because of these blockers. Okay, I'm going to show you what are the blockers. The first thing is the blockchain limitation itself. Okay, what are the blockchain limitations? High transaction cost, right? You pay on something, you need to pay, let's say, 10 US dollar per transaction. That's yeah, maybe cheap for someone, but for most people, it's not feasible at all because we don't have any kind of high cost like this. Slow transaction, bad experience because people who are familiar with the traditional finance, they have no idea about public key, private key, seed phrase, gas. These are the things that they need to learn, right, before they can use any like blockchain product. So the blockchain limitation itself make it hard to create this kind of insurance product. The second one is the trust issue. So how can we securely bring in our personal health record, right, into blockchain? This is something really hard as well because if you rely on just, let's say, a medical center or some hospital, they can fraud because they want to get some money, right? The hospital wants to get some money, and the insurance company pay money. So they have some incentive to fraud in the system by sending the fraud information into blockchain. So the trust issue, right? If we just only have this single entity to feed the system, it may be very hard to control the authenticity of the data, right? Privacy concern, it is another thing. Because when we work with the insurance, right, we need to share a lot of data, like in terms of interoperability. How can we hide the sensitive data when we want to share something, right? So the privacy is very important. If our personal health record leaks to some people, right, maybe they can use that to attack us in some way. And the last one is the technology adoption, okay? People still ask what is blockchain, what is MetaMask, what is private key, what is seed phrase. So these are the key blockers that we have today. And actually, all ingredients are ready today. I want to share with you. I think in this year, maybe we will come to have a big change in blockchain industry. Because for the blockchain limitations, in the technical side, they work so hard to abstract away the complexity of blockchain. So private key, public key, or anything, it will be hidden in the background with the things called account abstraction. Okay, this is the trend for the blockchain technical guy this year. Okay, account abstraction. The Ethereum blockchain itself can scale up using layer 2 or app chain or maybe CCIP to interact each other. So these are the keywords that I want you to put in. Maybe you can research more on this later. For the trust issue, instead of relying on just single entity, we can use the decentralized Oracle network to support you, like Chainlink. They come as well. And the privacy concern, we have the new, not new actually, but it is become easier to use. We call zero knowledge proof or decentralized identity. We have talked about the decentralized identity in the morning today, and we have touched a bit about how to keep privacy on this kind of applications. And the last one, I think this one is related to our event today, is if we have the national blockchain adoption today, it will drive a lot in this industry because we cannot relying on the private sector anymore. I don't want to say that, but it is faster, way faster, if the national level push this initiative themselves and have kind of standard for people to come into play and make the infrastructure to be secure in every issue together. Okay, so with this kind of keywords, okay, the blockers like remain, it still remains, but it can decrease. And the tech team all of the world working on this kind of solutions together. And I think they can bring in these kind of solutions into the government side if the government side want to take this initiative. So it is a good side that I want to share with you all. Okay, that's the first thing that I want to share. And the second thing I want to share more about if we can destroy this blocker, what are the potential benefits that we can have over the traditional insurance industry, right? Because we just know that, okay, insurance can help us to manage risk, but at the end, there are more than that. Okay. So in order to solve cost problem, let me go back a bit. Yeah, this one is not clear yet, theory, but now it's more practical. Okay, I want to deep down into each of them. So cost, when we have interoperability, okay, we reduce the process, right? We can share the data, so reduce the cost. The smart contract and the open market, which means that you do not have only the insurance company coming to provide the service, but we can open the market for people who want to invest. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, this is our platform. I want to show you this. This is the insurance contract that maybe the insurance company can create, and they think about the condition, they think about the things that we will have inside, right? But instead of selling the insurance package by themselves, they can let the other people to invest, right? So let me give you some clear example of this. I'm not sure. Some of you may think in the next year, COVID will happen, and some might not, right? So I have two types of trust, two types of thoughts, right, between COVID. So people who think that COVID will happen, they may need to see that, so how much impact do they have if the COVID happen? Their business may be gone after COVID if it happens, right? So what they can do is they need to buy some insurance that support in case the COVID happen again, right? So they get back the money in case of COVID happening, right? But in the other, on the other side, we have people that is okay if COVID happen. Some people who can work online, some people who can work around the world, no need to interact each other physically, right? So they don't need to care so much about COVID, right? So that person, they do not need to buy insurance, but they can invest insurance to cover the risk of the other people who get risk, who are risky from the COVID case. So this thing is possible using blockchain and smart contract. But without blockchain and smart contract, we cannot easily open this kind of opportunity for people to have investment in some set of condition or insurance policy. Okay, so this is something that very powerful of the smart contract and blockchain. If the government want to start this initiative, we can have this set of things to create. Okay, but yeah, at the end, I think rather than the open market to reduce the cost, as you can see, if we open the market, the cost may reduce, but that's the assumption. We are working on it. The flexible policy, this looks very hard, but today we also have AI to help you, right? Instead of reading through all of the policy, you can read it by asking, right? You put in the whole thing. Maybe in the future, it will become the smart contract-based policy. You cannot read it by yourself. You put it into AI and make it easier to understand by asking some questions. So you have set of questions that you want to ask, you can just ask. Okay? So this is the example. So in short, in conclusion, when we can solve this problem, right, there are a lot of potentials that can come into the health insurance industry by using the open market for the smart contract. That may be able to happen. And AI to simplify, right, from the complex insurance system to be simple policy reading to understand. People can understand it easily. And hopefully, the fraud is something that related to people, so I cannot say anything about it. But if we have the system that is transparent enough and have the good incentive alignment enough, that will resolve the fraud problem as well. So thank you very much for listening. And yeah, some disclaimer here, I'm not the insurance expert, but I'm just a tech guy. But I see this opportunity if we have this kind of initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garrod, for sharing with us the application of blockchain on healthcare. ค่ะเมื่อสักครู่นะคะเราฟังเรื่องราวที่น่าสนใจอย่างยิ่งค่ะเกี่ยวกับประกันสุขภาพว่าจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยประกันสุขภาพที่เรามีอยู่ในทุกวันนี้มันมีปัญหาหลายๆอย่างที่เกิดขึ้นนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของค่าใช้จ่ายความซับซ้อนความคุ้มครองหรือว่าการหลอกลวงที่อาจจะมีอยู่ซึ่งเมื่อสักครู่ค่ะคุณธนากรได้แบ่งปันให้เราฟังว่าบล็อกเชนสามารถที่จะมาช่วยแก้ไขปัญหาตรงนี้ได้มันมีศักยภาพที่สามารถเป็นไปได้และก็จะมีประโยชน์อย่างยิ่งนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของการที่บริษัทต่างๆแชร์ข้อมูลกันได้ผ่านทาง Open Data ผ่านทาง Smart Contract แล้วก็ยังสามารถเปิดตลาดใหม่ให้กับผู้คนที่อยากลงทุนได้เพียงแต่ว่าทางภาครัฐเองจะต้องหาทางค่ะในการที่จะขจัดสิ่งที่เรียกว่าเป็นบล็อกเกอร์หรือว่าเป็นสิ่งกีดขวางนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของข้อจำกัดของบล็อกเชนที่มีค่าธุรกรรมสูงช้าและซ้ำซ้อนนะคะรวมถึงประเด็นในเรื่องของความเชื่อใจของประชาชนที่ว่าเราจะประวัติสุขภาพของเราขึ้นบล็อกเชนกันอย่างไรบ้างรวมไปถึงเรื่องความปลอดภัยของข้อมูลความเป็นส่วนตัวและการนำเทคโนโลยีมาปรับใช้จริงด้วยค่ะเรียกได้ว่าน่าสนใจเป็นอย่างยิ่งเลยนะคะ and next up our next session we will be talking about the application of blockchain on real-world assets under the topic of a net zero future with regulated digital assets. And our speakers are the co-founder and CTO of METS DNC, a climate tech company, Mr. Jason Lee, who is the specialized in the net zero strategies, and the marketing and business development director APAC at Chintai, which leverages blockchain technology to revolutionize capital markets. Mr. Wong Kok Ho or Coco, please welcome.
Thank you. Hello, how are you? Good evening to all of you. My name is Wong Kok Ho. I'm the marketing director of Chintai. It's a regulated digital asset platform based in Singapore. And today, my partner in crime is with Mr. Lee, and I should hand over to Jason to talk a bit about himself.
Okay, I'm Jason Lee. I'm CTO of DNZ and METS DNZ, a joint venture with FinStable.
Yeah. So to kick off our presentation today, I would request for a bit of silence from the hall. We have a short clip to play, and then we'll go on to our presentation. This is for you.
Okay, so the block. So I hope all of you love the block, connecting all of us together. So who exactly are we, DNZ and Chintai? Who is this newly married couple? So I'm going to start by sharing about the DNZ. So DNZ, to make it very easy, it stands for Decarbonization Net Zero. So moving forward, if you read any news about decarbonization, you remember the DNZ. And what do? We basically provide advisory on carbon net zero strategies, and we also offer cutting-edge energy optimization solutions and tokenizations to fund all these ESG-related projects and decarbonization initiatives, at the same time allowing businesses, investors to able to invest through the green finance. Now, what exactly is the pain point that we are solving? A very important one of the world's biggest problems, which is none other than climate change. I'm sure everyone is over here, you're well aware of the impact of the climate change. Hot place become hotter and cold place become even colder, especially now happening in the US. And that's where decarbonization comes in as a solution, because what the decarbonization means, it means removing the carbon emission, reducing the carbon emission and reducing the greenhouse effect, which is the culprit of the climate change. And we all are also well aware, so since the Paris Agreement in 2015, so countries has been committing towards the net zero carbon target in 2050, and more are engaging, and the urgency is becoming increasingly urgent. So especially as we see so many challenges coming forth. And that's where the DNZ is here to really fill the gap, to really provide using existing and innovative solutions and technologies to solve this problem. And how do we do it? Basically, there are 4 hows that we're answering. Number 1, how do we achieve this net zero target? How can we really achieve that? How can we help business to achieve that? And that is where we're able to understand the business and provide the various decarbonization options to be able to do so. And secondly, how do we really manage the cost to decarbonize? And that is using AI and machine language to really build the energy usage pattern, and therefore able to control the assets, and hence helping to reduce the carbon footprint and therefore reduce the cost. And thirdly, how do we implement and operate decarbonized assets, including energy assets? And there's none other than through control mechanism, again, using AI and machine learning to achieve that. And finally, So how do we utilize blockchain and tokenization? These are very, very important aspects. Probably you will see some of our competitors saying that they can do this, and that. This is very important because decarbonized solution is expensive, and it takes time. And where will the money comes from? And that is where we're able to provide tokenization to able to do so. And one of the way will be through the regulated carbon credit trading platform that the DNZ provides. So all in all, to summarize, three solutions that the DNZ provide: advisory on carbon market, carbon offset project, decarbonization, and in particular our Caspian AI IoT energy monitoring and optimization platform, especially very good for building owner. Imagine 1 year you spend 1 million on electric bill, especially on the chiller, and imagine you can save 10 to 25%, talking about 100,000 to 203,000 per year. That's a lot. And thirdly, as I mentioned earlier, the tokenization plays a very important part to support the funding and allowing investors to be able to invest in these upcoming assets. And of course, there are many, many methodologies that are involved. Here, I'm just going to show one of the methodologies. And this is a really, so I can see a one-stop shop. So for example, let's say there's a project, there's a client coming to us, and then they have a carbon project, a potential carbon project. They really want to work with us. And that's where we have discussions, we do fact-finding, and when we find that it's able to move forward, that's where we will be able to help to build the project design document and working with the carbon registries, getting the approval with the VVB, and assign project developers to implement, working closely with the client, follow through, doing the performance verification, working again with the VVB to get the approval, and finally get the carbon credit issue. And from there, we'll be able to tokenize them into our DNZ marketplace platform, running and powered by my darling, my partners, Chintai, a regular platform. And from there, the corporates will be able to purchase and therefore able to offset the carbon, and hence, it really give our client the incentives and the investment to do so. Now I will pass to Adali. Why Chintai? Okay, Koho.
Thank you. I have a question for you, Jason. Don't leave. How are we related in this project, simplistically?
As I mentioned, earlier I mentioned that we have been using Chintai as our underlying blockchain platform to do so, and I will let Koho to explain why they are so wonderful, why we decide to marry.
Thank you. So most importantly, our theme is about towards a net zero future with regulated blockchain technology. The keywords is regulated. So Chintai is a tokenization platform regulated in Singapore with 2 licenses. We have a license in CMS, which allowing us to deal with financial product. And we have another license, which is RMO, which talk about allowing us to operate in exchange. So in the world of uncertainty, we want to have a level of certainty. Being regulated and licensed is what makes us attractive to DNZ. So I'll tell you a bit more about platform. It is ready. It is not a concept. We'll show you what we have been doing in the past 1 year in a few slides with DNZ. So our end-to-end blockchain platform, regulated, allows you to issue your token all the way to managing the token that you have issued on-chain. I will walk to the middle of the stage. This is important. We have an on-chain automated compliance engine allowing you to make sure that all of the token that you have issued is regulated. We have the right level of policies in place for compliance check. And this we'll show you just in a bit. Next slide. Yes, this is a bit challenging slides. I have a lot of layer 1 protocol here, but we are under the umbrella of EOS network, largely because it's a more low energy consumption protocol. It is also allowing an easier cross bridge, as well as it's suitable to build a reliable and compliant platform. So this is the reason why we have selected Antelope as a protocol for our technology. What you might not know is when you pick a regulated tokenization platform, you need to ensure that you look at protocol risks. And it's something that if you look at issuing it, you need to look at this specific topic. So now I'll go into the actual making of what we have been cooking in the past 1 year, and I'll show you what we have prepared for you. So this is a live, obviously recorded for the purpose of this presentation, a on-chain tokenization platform. If you look at the top right, we have branded it as DNZ. However, it's powered by our regulated technology. What you're looking at is a creation of a token on screen, right? And then, as I mentioned, to create a token will require a lot of documentation to ensure that the token you create is actually regulated and legit. So there's a lot of due diligence required from token issuer like yourself to fulfill the requirement of our platform, which is licensed by MAS. So now when this is done, you are ready to issue your token. It is actually as simple as what you have seen. Just now we have issued a carbon credit token, brown token. You check all of the compliance due diligence documents are already in place, and then you are happy with it. What you then do, you can just issue, let's say, 1,000. And then what you then do is, from the token you created, approved by compliance, and now you literally issue it for the marketplace. It's as simple as that. Yeah? And here it gives you a bit of an understanding of the token you create. And these are, by the way, I remind you, is on-chain. There's nothing off-chain that we're doing. So we will leave you a pretty good audit trail. In the occasion, your auditors or taxation lawyers here to catch you or look after for whatever you need, we have the blockchain trail for them as well. Now, what do you do once you have already tokenized a carbon credit token? You need a marketplace. So what we do is, we are also licensed to empower company like DNZ, my partner, to actually have a marketplace. It's a white labeling solution, allowing the team to focus on the carbon credit decarbonization, whereas we support them from a technology perspective. What you're looking here at this screen is a simulation of a buy and sell. I noticed there's a lot of crypto bro and crypto babe here. You'll be familiar with the interface. As a token investors, what you need to do is as simple as buy and sell, and then it's all recorded on chain again. And bearing in mind, if you see, this is white label, DNZ, and it's powered by Chintai because we are regulated backed in Singapore. So that it's the marketplace. I also now want to address another concern. So what happened to the liquidity? Who is investing in this token? We are licensed to handle institutional investors and accredited investors. Sorry, retail investor, not yet. What is important here is I'll show you the onboarding process, which is quite a pain for all token investors. We ask you questions almost like a private bank. So we ask you all of your investment experience. We ask you about your risks. Are you familiar with blockchain or digital assets? And all of this need to be filled in the KYC platform, which is also part of the white labeling solution. This is a lifeless test. And then what we then do is we check all of it. Before we onboard you. So it's unlikely that once you sign up, you can immediately trade. we need to make sure that you are entitled, available, and qualified to trade in our platform. Just a bit more. It's almost done.
Yeah.
And when this is done, you will then realize that we will then process it from the back of the compliance engine. Just one more. Make sure you are accredited. And the country which is, let's say, not sanctioned is also required. Update some of your latest utility bill. So something that you might be familiar if you're going to open a bank account, that's all in place. Once you're happy with it, you can submit. So what happened is in the next 24 to 48 hours, our hardworking compliance colleague will look at what you have submitted. This is basically the dashboard for the compliance officer to approve it within 24 to 48 hours if you complete the onboarding process properly. What is good here, we look at your risk profile. We check what are the news that's related to you. We have all of the alerts. We have if any illegitimate activities that you have conducted in the past that we can track, you will be denied of onboarding onto our platform. So this is what we have built, allowing that when you use the Chintai platform or when you trade with the DNZ carbon credit exchange, you know that these are legitimate, properly accessed, regulated financial products. And we have 2 more minutes. Would you like to open up for Q&A?
So I just want to add on, so we can see they are actually doing all the hard work. And in fact, they also have transaction monitoring, which didn't do so, which is very, very important. So in this compliant, the AML industry. So that's why we are really, really so blessed to able to find them, and then we really find them a match.
Thank you. And we'd like to also express our gratitude to FinStable for inviting us to be here today. We look forward to seeing you. We have 2 more days. So come to us, talk to us. We're happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
By the way, so we are going to launch this officially in March. And if any one of you find that interested to know more, please come and talk to us. We are more than happy to share more with you. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Coco and Jason, for your wonderful presentations from DNC and also Chintai ค่ะเมื่อสักครู่นะคะเราได้รับฟังการนำเสนอค่ะจากคุณเจสันแล้วก็คุณโคโค่นะคะจากบริษัทชินไทยแล้วก็ DNC ค่ะสำหรับบริษัท DNC จำง่ายๆอย่างที่คุณเจสันได้บอกไว้ก็คือ Decarbonization Net Zero เป็นบริษัทค่ะที่เรามีวิสัยทัศน์นะคะเห็นว่าธุรกิจหลายๆแห่งเนี่ยตอนนี้มีเป้าหมายในเรื่องของ Net Zero เพียงแต่ว่าเราไม่รู้ว่าจะทำยังไงในการที่จะบรรลุเป้าหมายนั้นดังนั้นค่ะ DNC จึงได้เข้ามาในการที่จะช่วยบริษัทต่างๆให้ได้มีระบบพลังงานที่ลดการปล่อยคาร์บอนนะคะเพื่อที่จะลดคาร์บอนฟุตปรินท์มีการใช้ AI แล้วก็ Machine Learning มาช่วยในการควบคุมตรงนี้ค่ะรวมถึงได้มีการทำงานร่วมกันกับชินไทยนะคะที่จะสร้างโทเค็นขึ้นมาในการช่วยเราในการจัดหาเงินทุนรวมถึงในการเทรดคาร์บอนเครดิตด้วยค่ะผ่านทางสิ่งที่เรียกว่า DNC Marketplace หรือว่า Exchange นั่นเองค่ะและสำหรับชินไทยนะคะก็เป็นตัวแพลตฟอร์มที่ได้รับการรับรองแล้วของสิงคโปร์ในการที่จะสร้างโทเค็นต่างๆค่ะทุกอย่างจะเป็นแบบออนเชนทำให้เราสามารถ track ได้ทั้งหมดนะคะก็ต้องขอบคุณอย่างยิ่งเลยค่ะทั้ง2ท่านที่ได้มาเล่าให้เราฟังค่ะ And now I would like to once again extend the gratitude to all our sponsors who make our event possible. So thank you so much HK Group, Litecoin Foundation, Singularity Net, OneChain Blockchain Labs, EOS Network, Polygon, BNB Chain, Definity Foundation, Alita, BEVM, The Bonk, DTC Group, Deep Brain Chain, Sinso Technology, Sino Hope, Sabai Ecoverse, W33 Group, SPX Pinnacle Markets, Tweet, Silica AI, ChainUp, World Blockchain Organization, 3DAO, X, XBridge, Malgreen, and XR Tech Thailand และในเซสชันถัดไปของเรานะคะเราจะมาดูในเรื่องของ Social Enterprise Charities Arts and Culture ค่ะ and now next session we'll be discussing on social enterprises charities arts and culture and we have the head of ecosystem research at Mantle Network Mr. Derek Lim as our next speaker. Derek kicked off his professional crypto journey as a crypto journalist at Digital Publication Tech in Asia before moving to Bybit, the third largest exchange in the world, as a research associate. He then rose to head of crypto insights by Bybit before joining Spartan Labs, the $100 million venture studio arm of Spartan Group, the #1 performing APEC hedge fund in 2021, to head up their research department. And now he is ready with us. Please together welcome Mr. Derek Lim.
Hello, hello. Test, test. Okay, really nice to meet all you guys. This event space is way more than I expected. You know, it's a very nice space. Difficult to find, but very nice space. Thank you guys for being here. Right. My name is Derek, and I am part of Mental Network and ETH Modular L2. And I'll be speaking on social enterprises, charities, and arts and culture. And really more about how blockchain technology itself can empower these fields, right? So as a quick primer, why I'm combining these fields is because undergirding these fields, right, there are two key concepts: grants, funding, right, and donations that really that are the cornerstones of these industries, right? So I'll go more in depth later, but yeah, let's begin. So as a quick introduction, I'm currently the head of ecosystem research at Mental Network, right? It's an ETH L2, and I focus on a social stack there. Right. Previously, I was the head of research at Spartan Labs. I was also the head of crypto insights at Bybit. You know, happy to see some Bybit colleagues here, ex-colleagues here, and people from Solana here as well. On the side, I'm a freelance crypto journalist for Tech in Asia, right? And I'm also an associate lecturer at Singapore Institute of Management for Web3 course, right? So this topic is something that I'll go through with my undergrads as well. So don't mind me. My slides are going to be very wordy, right? It's going to be lecture style, but please bear with me. I promise you'll learn something from these at least, I hope, right? And on a personal front, I'm very heavily involved in charities and social enterprises in Singapore, right? Sorry? Okay, got it. Thanks for letting me know, yeah. The timing is getting me, so I'll speak more slowly now, right? So on the personal front, right, I am very personally involved, right, in charities around, mainly in Singapore, namely with YMCA and Minds, right? Minds is really a school for intellectually disabled children, right? That I volunteer once a week, you know, for the past few years. I'm also pretty embedded in the arts and culture scene in Singapore, right? I used to perform at bars on a weekly basis, so I kind of do know how the arts and culture scene in Singapore functions. So before I continue, right, let me set some parameters, right? These are things that I'm very sure all of you guys will know, but I need to double make sure, right, because these are terms that I will use later on in my argumentation, right? And I need to make sure that the definitions are clear. So there's this assumption, right, that blockchain equals to crypto, right? The second one, blockchain equals to Web3, right? Or that crypto equals to Web3. So these are some parameters, some assumptions that I want to clarify first before I dive into my argumentation, right? The first truth is that blockchains are merely a form of distributed ledger technology, or DLT, right, that undergirds cryptocurrencies. At its core, they do not require cryptocurrencies, right? It's just another form of DLT, like hash graphs or DAGs, okay? So the second truth is that, in a similar vein, right? Blockchains are just databases, right? They empower innovations that drive the Web3 ethos. Okay, it is a technology, it is a DLT, it is a database. Okay? The last truth is that cryptocurrencies probably share the closest link to Web3, right? As they are one of the forms of innovation that enable the Web3 ethos. Okay? Cryptocurrencies do require blockchain technology, even though blockchains do not require cryptocurrencies, right? So I think the main point I'm making here is that when we use the term Web3, crypto and blockchain, they are in essence very different things, and they should not be conflated between one and the other. Okay? Yep, that's basically what I summed up. Right, so with that in mind, right, let's go into some context framing for these three industries, right? Social enterprises, charities, and arts and culture, right? When it comes to blockchain technology's value add to these industries, right, we have to look at two different contexts. The first will be within a private blockchain setting. The other is a public blockchain setting. Right? I think when it comes to these two different settings, the value add is very, very different. Okay? So let's take a first look at a private blockchain, right? I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but let me just do a quick recap. Okay? So a private blockchain is not decentralized, right? It really works with selected and personally verified, essentially KYC people, right? So they are not decentralized, right? They only run, right, with full node. They are fully permissioned, right? You have to KYC before you can run a node there, right? So in essence, the operator has the rights to override, edit, or delete all entries on private blockchains, right? On that note, right, we see that transparency then may not be something that private blockchains can bring, right? Because it is very much hinged upon a central authority. Okay? So as mentioned, it is merely a form of DLT that some governments or institutions that I have worked with before, they use merely for as a closed database, right? And the only crypto part of this are the cryptographic concepts, right, that they utilize, right, for their organization's needs. Okay? So usually for these use cases, there is no cryptocurrency involved in all these, right? Enterprises and governments that use private blockchains do not require cryptocurrencies, okay? So I won't speak about the flaws due to time constraints, but private blockchains typically empower two things, right? This is not just for the fields of social enterprises, charity, or arts and culture, but for most fields, private blockchains empower two main things, right? The first will be efficiency via smart contracts, okay? And the second thing will be immutability, right? Because that's something that private blockchains still retain, even though they are really hinged on a central entity, right? So when it comes to any industry augmentation efforts, these two areas are what private blockchains bring, right? Value add. So linking this to charities, to social enterprises, right, to arts and culture, where can private blockchains really value add? For me, I will opine that it's mainly in just one area, right? I would love to have a discussion with anyone who thinks otherwise, because I would love to have more ideas on this. But to me, and from what I've seen, working with people in this field so far, private blockchains mainly empower business operational capacities, right? For these industries, okay, mainly in the forms of supply, logistics, payroll, finances, and accounting, right? Very back-end stuff, okay? That is what most organizations use private blockchains for, okay? And in this regard, I would suggest maybe a private hash graph, right? Would make more sense than a blockchain, okay? So now that we have done looking at private blockchains, right? I'll spend way less time here because I think the fun bit, right, would be in public blockchain technology, right? So once again, I know most of you guys know this, but just to contrast this with private blockchains, a public blockchain is very different, right? Anyone and everyone can join and partake in the network itself, right? So transparency is there. You see the difference, right? Anyone can read, write, and audit the ledger, okay? So this is what gives public blockchains, right, its self-governed and decentralized nature, okay? And this is the big difference, right? Public blockchains typically involve cryptocurrencies, right, as part of the incentive mechanism, right? Getting people to join the network, partake in it, and secure it by its consensus mechanisms, right? So this is where it is very drastically different from private blockchains. And one big difference as well is that anyone, literally anyone and everyone, with the technical know-how, can deploy on any public blockchain of their choice, right? You can deploy any dApps on any private blockchain of your choice. That's something that private blockchains don't afford, okay? So popular examples of private blockchain networks, Ethereum, of course, Vitalik was just here. Solana, I see some Solana boys over here, right? And Polygon as well, right? And Mantle itself, of course, is a private blockchain as well. So yeah, I think I just wanted to make clear the difference between private and public blockchains, because these differences in characteristics will wholly define the value adds, right, that they can bring as well. Okay, so now that we are clear of what public blockchain is like, right? What does it bring to the fields that I mentioned above, right? One thing is clear: blockchain tech, even public blockchain tech, is never a silver bullet, right? And in fact, when I speak to clients, right, or partners, one thing that I really warn them about is that blockchain tech can be very clunky, right? If blockchain tech does not fully augment or does not provide any value proposition for the use case itself in a very specific and focused manner, I would suggest that you don't use blockchain at all, okay? So when it comes to social enterprises, charities, right, and arts and culture, these are the areas, very high-level areas, that I feel, right, public blockchains can, in a very focused manner, value add to them, right? So there's transparency, something that private blockchain cannot have, automation, right, and the most important thing to me that I'll go more in depth into, gamification, okay? So before we look at all these, right, I think it's very important to know the industry itself, right? So as mentioned, I've been embedded in this space on a personal front for years now, and speaking to people and experiencing myself, I have summarized, right, at a very high level, the issues plaguing these three spaces, okay? Number one, with the market downturn heralded in by the COVID pandemic, right, we see that funding has fallen drastically, right, for these three industries, okay? With that, you get the drop-off effect of operational capacity, right? Less manpower. They can't perfect their processes as well as before because they lack the resources to do so, okay? And one thing that I realize, even governments realize this, right, is that there is still a dearth between grassroots and the top-down, right? So the people at the top, admittedly, they admitted themselves, right? At least in Singapore, in the Singapore context, they find it difficult to understand the grassroots level, the users, the masses, their needs and wants in these three industries, okay? And of course, that leads to a misalignment of interest between stakeholders, right? And one last thing would be transparency. When it comes to grants and donations, transparency is definitely a big thing, right? People are suspicious of where certain funds are going to. They are not sure. There's no transparency. It's not clear, right? There's no verifiability, and that's something that plagues, really the first two spaces actually. So, how do public blockchains, right, empower, augment, right, these areas? Okay. Once again, I'm sorry, it's very wordy. I just wanted this to be a piece of resource that if you take it with you, you can actually it'll be in depth enough, right? But just follow me here, right? As mentioned, donations and grants are the cornerstone of operations within all the three fields I mentioned, right? In fact, the first two are very much powered by these. And I'll argue arts and culture as well for some countries, right? And trust and verifiability as a result will be of utmost importance, right? And I'll breeze through this part because I see that I don't have much time left. But basically, when a public blockchain has a public ledger that you can verify all data on chain 4, what happens is if external social enterprises and charities plug into public blockchains, right, everything can be verified on chain, on a public ledger. That way, the receipt and usage of funds for these firms, right, can be verified by the public, by anyone and everyone. There is transparency, there's accountability, and they can't run away from anything that's on chain. Right? That's something that private blockchains cannot bring, but public blockchains can. Right? So when these two things are the cornerstones of such industries, right, it's important that we utilize something like public blockchains to ensure trust and verifiability. Okay? So as mentioned, same thing, right? I won't repeat that. But automation. Public blockchains have smart contracts. They utilize smart contracts technology as well. And what that allows or empowers is that many of these industries have very convoluted, right, processes in terms of applying for grants, disbursement of grants or of donations, right? What smart contracts can do is automate all these processes in a very seamless manner. Right? Everything is interoperable, everything can interact with one another as long as you're plugged into the same network or system, right? And everything can be done in a very fast-free, extremely disintermediated manner. Okay? Of course, there's some issues here because there's some regulatory undertones there that these things are overcome, and that can be an issue as well. Okay? And of course, it still depends on the multiple stakeholders' willingness to plug into this blockchain network itself. So there are many hurdles to overcome, and in practice, this is in theory, right? In practice, it is never so easy for any industry to plug into the blockchain. But what I'm professing here is mainly just the benefits that it can bring if government agencies or institutions are open enough to explore that, right? In Singapore, I'm actually discussing with some parties for this, right? And I hope that Thailand, if anyone is open to discuss, and I would love to discuss as well. Okay, jumping to the meat, I have 5 minutes left, so I'll have to speed up here a bit. As mentioned, public blockchains are great for gamification, right? In terms of incentivizing users to really be involved in a cause or in an industry, right? So when it comes to social enterprises, charities, and arts and culture, right, gamification can manifest itself in 2 different ways. Okay, one will be quadratic funding, and this will mainly apply to social enterprises and charities, right? And the other will be futaki, okay, that will mainly apply to arts and culture. So these two are really systems of governance that are empowered and enabled by blockchains, public blockchains, right, that I argue will be perfect, right, to augment and to improve the 3 industries that I described above. Okay? So what is quadratic funding, right? Quadratic funding really is a compromise between the concept of $1, 1 vote and 1 person, 1 vote that is empowered by, as I mentioned, public blockchains, right? So most voting systems, right, utilize the $1, 1 vote. It's a very traditional system, right, where someone who has more money than the person beside him or her can actually have more influence in the voting process, right? Quadratic funding through the 1 person, 1 vote concept hopes to overturn that, okay? So in a $1, 1 vote system, one person paying $10,000 to vote, right, has the same influence as 100 people paying $100 each, right? That is, I would argue, fair in some instances, in others, not that fair, right? What quadratic funding brings to the table is that one person paying $10,000 has the same influence as 100 people paying $1 or 10 people paying $100, okay? So what it does is based on the curve that you see later, right? The influence of many normal people will equate to or even outweigh that of a single rich person. Okay, so this is what quadratic funding is in a nutshell. So I'll dive into a very simple example, right, to show this to you guys. I won't talk about this because it's not that related for now. But can we click into the link yeah. Thank you. So I'll use a very simple example, right? Let's scroll down a bit, okay, to show how quadratic funding works. Let's say, imagine, right, we have $10,000 we want to distribute. Let's say the $10,000 is from a government body, right? They have this amount of money they want to disburse to, let's say, the arts and culture scene in Thailand, okay? But they want to do it in a way that's very grassroots. They are not so sure who to support, what to support. They want this to be a very dialectical, bottom-up process instead of top-down, right? How can QF help? Okay, so yes, thank you. So let's say there are 3 projects, right, vying for these funds or vying for these grants. Okay, so project A receives, all of them receive $1,000, right? Same amount of money received. But of course, project C has way more contributors than projects A and B, right? In a normal voting system, all of them will be tied, right, for the matching pool. They will get the same amount from the $10,000 grants that the government has set aside, right? But in QF, sorry, scroll down a bit more. Thank you. Right, in QF, the final distribution of funds of the matching pool, right, is decided by the project curve, right? So the people that have received more votes will receive more in proportion, right, of the matching pool, which is the fund set aside by governments as well, right? So that is where QF can really benefit charities and social enterprises, right? Because then this really manifests itself in 2 ways, right? The first way will be that this is purely grassroots and community-led, right? Who the government supports is what the people care about, is what they actually are aware about or are aware of, right? And what they actually believe in, right? The second thing would be for institutions, right, that fall through the cracks. They unfortunately do not receive the same amount of merit from the system as others do, right? Then this becomes a point of data for them to improve on their processes, right, to cater to the masses. Because what this does is really, it tells you, this is what people want. This is what people are looking for, right? So that is a latent manifestation, right, a latent benefit for such projects, okay? Yeah, thanks. I can go back to the slide now. Because I don't have much time left, so I'll have to read through the rest. Okay, so for arts and culture, for grants disbursement, right, Futaki is perfect for this, right? So I will take 30 seconds for this, right? What Futaki is in a nutshell, and I'm thankful Vitalik is not here because he wrote on this, and I'm going to butcher his definition by simplifying it, for the sake of brevity, right? But what it does, right, instead of voting pools, you now have betting pools or prediction markets, right? This is really hinged on the belief that people put their money where their mouths are, okay? So for example, let's say you want to disburse grants, right, to, once again, different music initiatives in Thailand, right? But you don't know who to give to because you are not sure, you're not on the ground, on the scene, right? You want to tap on the grassroots people to really point the direction as to, how you should disperse these funds, okay? So what Futaki does is it opens up markets, right, prediction markets for various different projects. Okay, let's say there's 4 projects vying for the grants, right? You then have 4 markets, right? And then the one market will be, it's a binary market, so people can be like, okay, project A will get a grant, yes or no. Project B will get a grant, yes or no. And anyone can then vote on yes or no with their money, right? They'll input money to vote on yes or no, whether they think that the project will win the grant in the end. Okay? And at the end of this round, anyone who, the project that actually wins with most votes will get all the money, right? They'll get the highest proportion from the matching pool, okay? From the grants that the government set aside, okay? And what it does is actually the people that voted for them will win a payout, will win some profits from the collateral baskets that undergirds these prediction markets, okay? I know it's, there's no time to dive into it, but there's this article here that I've written to dumb it down for everyone, right? They can read, you can dive into the read if you're interested. If you're interested to speak to me as well, I'll be happy to chat with you guys, right? But what this system does, right, in a nutshell, really is that it rewards people who put their money where their mouths are. It strips away biases, right? Even if you like Project A, because Project A is your friend, but if you think that Project C is better, you will still vote for Project C. We want to remove these biases, these unfairness from the system to ensure that the government or whatever entity can disburse the grants in a manner that best benefits the entire arts and culture scene, for example, or social enterprise scene even. Okay? Of course, this all in theory. In practice, it's never been done before, right? But I hope I'm actually exploring with a project right now on Mental, right, to do something like that. I'm not sure how it'll pan out, But definitely hoping to see, if this can be something within these three industries. Right now, we are at the forefront of, really at the forefront of all these, right? So it's still very exploratory. Once again, if anyone wants to chat with me about all these, things, these industries, these concepts, feel free to hit me up after this, okay? Yep. I'm sorry for overrunning the time, but yeah, thank you guys for this. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lim, for sharing with us the impact of blockchain on charity, social enterprise, arts, and culture. Now we are moving on to the next session on unlocking real-world asset adoption with Chainlink CCIP. And our next speaker is the RWA Business Development Lead, APAC at Chainlink Labs, Mr. Sean Chung, who has been leading the real-world asset initiatives in the APAC region. He focuses it on consulting companies and projects that tokenize physical and traditional financial assets. Let's together welcome on stage Mr. Sean Chung.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Sean Chung. I work for Chainlink Labs. The city is a really good place, and such a great honor to have everybody here. Today, I'm going to talk about a little bit of progress that we made in terms of blockchain space, because for the decade, and even more than that, we have been doing a lot of innovation and also adoption in terms of blockchain space. And now, I want to talk about unlocking the real-world asset adoption with a solution that Chainlink has launched called CCIP, the Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol. So to begin, I want to explain that we live in a multi-chain world. We'll see that there's so many public blockchains. You will see that Bitcoin is a Bitcoin network. So Bitcoin is a blockchain. We have Ethereum. We have layer 2s, including Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, and also other layer 1s, including Scroll, Avalanche, and the list goes on forever. We have hundreds and hundreds of blockchain that is coming up. And on the private chain side, which is usually used by enterprises and also financial institutions, including banks and securities companies that want to launch securitized token offerings. So we see that the blockchains are continuing to evolve and develop, but at the same time, we have connectivity issues. Blockchains are not connected to each other. But at the same time, we've seen a lot of adoption in the DeFi space, and now we're seeing a lot of interest in the enterprise and also in the banking and also the financial sectors, including asset management companies. We have about $867 trillion of assets in real world that could be disrupted by the blockchain. And 97% of the institutional investors agree that there will be some type of advantage that we can trigger by using tokenization technology. And also the blockchain space never sleeps. It runs 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. And the problem that we have right now is the liquidity fragmentation. So every year, and this year, the most recent year, we've seen $68 billion that had to be bridged from one platform to another. So you see in terms of trading platforms, to collateralization efforts, to governments, and even the capital markets. The reason for this issue of fragmentation occurs because, again, blockchains are not connected to each other. And because of that, the issue comes when we try to bridge one blockchain to another, that you have frequently seen hacking attempts and problems. And because if we don't solve this problem of connectivity, then there will be continuous issues with security. And if we have security issues, we cannot onboard traditional financial sector and also traditional enterprises in the new space called blockchain. So now, what Chainlink is doing in the space is that we're actively collaborating with not only Web3-based platforms and companies and projects, but also focusing a lot on the enterprise side as well as the capital markets. We have done a lot of collaborative efforts and engaged with a lot of financial institutions in the past, including SWIFT for international money transfers, with Bank of New York Mellon, BNP Paribas, with Citibank, and also clearing houses in the United States called DCTCC, and also in the European counterpart, the Euroclear. And because of working with global financial institutions, we want to make sure that the financial sector understands the risk. And also, we need to understand that this risk is solved by using the platform that Chainlink can provide. So again, to explain a little bit on the Chainlink platforms, we are a Web3 services platform. As I explained, we provide the most secure cross-chain interoperability platform so that we are able to connect private chain to blockchain and also to make sure that interoperability is there. And at the same time, just to explain a little bit about how we started is that blockchains, as secure as they are, we need to learn that they are, we compared blockchains to a platform like a computer that is disconnected from the real world. So it's a computer that is disconnected from the internet. For now, we are living in a very connected world that everything seems so natural. But imagine you have a mobile device that is disconnected to any network, or a computer that you don't have internet access. No matter how secure it may be, you will realize that it is impossible to have any type of usage for that device. So we provide not only the interconnectivity with each other from the blockchains, but also we make sure that the data that resides in the outside world, or we call it the off-chain information, that is put onto blockchain in the most secure way possible. So again, the cross-chain interoperability, I want to focus on one thing, that we are able to transfer one token to another, while at the same time we're able to send data along with it together. This is a very important part, which is necessary, especially because the fact that we can provide arbitrary messaging along with the token transfer is that you are able to deliver instructions with the token transfers as well. And at the same time, I want to mention that, again, security is the most important aspect of blockchain mass adoption. We believe that there are 5 levels of security in this world. The first level is a centralized way of providing data, or cross-chain transfers. So if you have one server, and if you can bridge one token from one platform to another. The issue is there's a centralized stance where one person or a company would have the private key. So you have no idea what the person might do with the private key if you continue to bridge values from one chain to another. So if you learn that there's a risk, you go on to the next level, where you run 2 servers, or 3 or 4, or many. Again, you might have a lot of servers, but there's one entity that controls the private key. So it may look like you are decentralizing the parts, but in essence, the issue is you have one entity that controls the private key. We had an issue of hacks or problems with these kind of bridges. The most recent one being one of the largest bridges was using level 2 security. And we have seen that the person had the private key in the laptop. When the person went missing, the bridge was on halt. And even still, there's a problem with it. And then there's another level of security where we have a network of nodes that run independently to maintain cross-chain bridge activities and so on. This is a more decentralized way. But again, the problem arises when you see that one network with different types of nodes is not scalable. The fundamental problems that we currently have with blockchains is that it's not scalable. So level 3 security might have an enhanced security features, But if you don't have the scalability, when you have spikes in transactions on a blockchain and in transactions, then you come across fundamental problems again. And then we have level 4 security, where you have networks of nodes, of Oracle networks that are responsible for transactions and also for cross-chain activities. And this is a much enhanced level where Chainlink started off. So this would create a more decentralized, a way more secure and reliable way to handle transactions. The last stage, called level 5, is where our CCIP, our cross-chain transfers are taken care of in a way. So we have different node operators or Oracle networks that are responsible for transactions. And on top of that, you will see in the middle that there's a risk management network that detects the level of risks and acts accordingly to resolve the risks levels as they come across for transactions. So again, CCIP again, we want to focus on the fact that our utmost concern is security. And also, in a decentralized way, we try to solve this problem. One example that we want to mention is a cross-chain transaction we actually have done with the largest bank in the Oceanic region called ANZ. So with ANZ, we've done a test of paying, meaning settling the stablecoin by purchasing a green bond on a different blockchain. So on one public blockchain, we managed to swap New Zealand dollar into Australian dollar. And with that transfer, with that transaction, we managed to purchase a green bond that resides in another public blockchain. And instantly, we made a purchase and transferred that green bond onto the original blockchain. So this is not a concept that we keep mentioning. These are actual tests that we are doing with financial institutions as we speak. So CCIP is a cross-chain interoperability protocol that we want to make sure to use these type of secure protocols to connect from the financial sector to the blockchain sector, to enterprises. And we call this an internet of contracts. Very similar to what we've seen in the beginning stage of the evolution of internet. By using TCP/IP, we were able to manage to deliver mass adoption of internet to the world. With CCIP, we try to deliver blockchain mass adoption to every sector of the industry as possible. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope we can have a discussion later on going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chung, for sharing your expertise unlocking real-world asset adoption through Chainlink CCIP. Next up is the session on what does real-world asset mean in real estate and why is it effective. We have Chief Product Officer at Sabai Ecoverse, Mr. Audrey Gusev.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, there is the trick, actually. The original name of the presentation was a bit different. The original name was, why is it not working? So today we're going to be talking about application of current trends in real-world assets, or RWA as we know them, how long it was with us. It was since 2017. And what's up? Like, we are developing those products for over 5 years, and why not every piece of real estate is tokenized? Why it is still ongoing? There might be a problem with the governments, there might be a problem with the regulations, with the laws, but we believe that the problem is a little bit deeper. Can I have the presentation? Oh, that's way too far. Yeah, why is it ineffective? First of all, I'm Chief Product Officer of Sabai Ecoverse. What we are the startup that have been originated by the group of the companies in real estate. Our colleagues and us, we are working with real estate in Thailand, in Europe, in Indonesia for over 12 years. We develop real estate, we sell real estate, and right now we develop tools for tokenization of the real estate. What is the problem? Real estate actually is very complex business. It's very traditional, and there are a lot of concepts to it. Blockchain is very vast and complex technology that is incomprehensible by traditional businessmen, and in order to actually create blockchain tools and make them work, you need a lot of knowledge. And we can look today for three cases. Cases of real estate developers trying to get into tokenization, cases of tools and technologies from the blockchain side trying to make this, the life of those real estate developers easier. And we'll look at real platforms that are live right now, and we'll see potential problems there. Two cases, very big ones. 2019, Bowens invests $6 million into the startup, into tokenization. 2020, MR invests $10 million into real estate tokenization. Question, do we see tokenized real estate by Bowens or MR? Not really, because it's very traditional, it's legacy businesses. They spent years and years on research and development. Will we see those platforms? I guess. When we will see those platforms, that's the question. Then, what should mid-scale or low-scale developer do? They can go to blockchain developers, right? There are tools over there. There are already prepared smart contracts, etc. Where would they land? They would land on thousands and thousands of codes built by great companies, which I have a lot of respect to, like Algorand, Tokeny, Chainlink, thank you very much, and the normal IT guy from real estate company will see that. And he will hear name Solidity for the first time in his life. So it doesn't really work. Then we have platforms. There are tens of platforms live right now. But as I mentioned in the beginning, it's not just about blockchain, it's about real estate as well. So we see those cases where the platform claims to get 12% of yield, but de facto they get 0% of yield because asset is bad, because real estate is complex business and blockchain developer doesn't have a clue about it. So what is missing here? Well, let's let everybody do their job, right? Software developers should develop software, real estate developers should develop real estate and sell real estate. That's what they do really good. Our vision is that there's one small link missing, somebody from both worlds who understand how to sell real estate and what actually are the needs of agencies and investors and influencers in real estate sales, and who understand the blockchain technology good enough in order to implement it properly and securely. Our vision is this. We take great technology of blockchain, we take great knowledge of our colleagues and ourselves into how to sell real estate, what do we need, and we implement it into one white label, all-in-one solution. So every real estate developer or broker can come to us, get the platform white label, get it adjusted for their needs, and start tokenizing their assets. Simple as that. So what we are fully Web 2.2 feel and like platform that allows everybody to invest into real estate. We're going live tomorrow. Please see us on the second floor in the chill out area. We will have the presentation of our platform tomorrow, and you can invest with us into real estate in Phuket. And we are a white label solution that is coming up by the end of the year. If any here is the developer or a broker and is interested in tokenization, also come see us on the second floor. We'll have a chat. Thank you very much.
Very much much, Mr. Gusev, for sharing with us the application of blockchain on real-world assets. And moving on, it will be the session on full-stack payment solutions development. And we have with us the founder of W3G Group, FZCO, and co-founder of BankingCore.cloud, with 10 years experience in business and fintech. And now I can see that he is ready. Let's welcome up on the stage Mr. Anton Dimitriev.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you have a great week and good day. And today, I would like to tell you about new trends, technologies, fintech, and Web3 industry. Let me tell you more about our project, our company, W3G Group, FZCO. I am a founder of this company and several other cool projects, and I tell you more about now about this. W3G Group, what we do, who we are, a little bit about us. Our company was founded in 2019 years. We develop project about 2 years in United Arab Emirates. Our main activity is development application for the financial sector and crypto industry using blockchain technologies. We're based in Dubai. We have a few offices. Our office in Dubai and second office in Bangkok. Our key competitions. We specialized on blockchain platform for banks and payment systems. Fintech, security, comprehensive business solution, IT infrastructure components, cloud solution, legal and technological support, consulting support, and blockchain transformation. Our strong point is blockchain development. We love it in blockchain. And I would like to tell you about our main case in payment system for bank. Names is our cases. It's Banking Core Cloud. Banking Core Cloud, it's platform for B2B clients for making payments, cross-border payments, and buy and sell crypto for fiat currencies. You can see what we can do on this platform. Yes, it's not so easy. It's hard and big infrastructure project. If you're interested, if you want, we can tell with you in private discussion. Not now. Our second case that we do, it's a green finance. We name it. It's EcoChain. EcoChain. It's EVM compatible blockchain, but this blockchain using native and utility token to generation digital technology on energy green. EcoChain, a new generation digital finance product created by W3G. EcoChain based on blockchain technology, allowing investors to safely invest in green energy. There are special tax regimes for investing in green energy, and there are many other benefits. The digital assets is backed by physical green electricity generation capacity, which allows for maximum investors, protection and access to the renewable energy market. It's our second case, and on this blockchain, working banking core cloud and several other projects for finance. It's my contact our company if you want send me questions or any proposals. Write me and directly in Telegram. Just scan this QR code and write me. We're opening to partnership and collaborations. Glad to see you in chats, or I am here. You can come to me and discussion about your proposals. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dimitrov, for sharing with us the application of blockchain in payment solutions. That was great. So thank you everyone once again for your presence the whole day. Thank you all the moderators, all the panelists, all the speakers who are sharing insights with us. I hope that it was a fruitful day for you as well. And for tomorrow, the schedule would move up a little bit. Our registration will start at 9 a.m. and the opening session will start at 9:25 a.m. So all the speakers, panelists for tomorrow, please kindly check your schedule again prior to coming. ค่ะสำหรับวันพรุ่งนี้นะคะตารางของเรามีการปรับเปลี่ยนค่ะตารางจะขยับขึ้นมานะคะโดยที่เราจะเริ่มลงทะเบียนกันตอน 9 โมงตรงค่ะและสำหรับเซสชั่นแรกจะเริ่มตอน 9 โมง 25 นะคะขอให้วิทยากรทุกๆท่านตรวจเช็คตารางของท่านอีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะ Thank you very much once again everyone I hope that you have a joyful night and I will see you tomorrow แล้วพบกันค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
Would be in public